Before I begin, I'd like to welcome you to this SBIA-DMF drug substance workshop. My name is Wei Song. I'm the chemist in Division of Life Cycle API. The title of this presentation is Timeline for DMF Risk-Based Assessment and Improvement of the First Cycle Approval Rate. Stephen Kingsley and I worked together to prepare this presentation. Before I discuss the timeline for risk-based assessment, I will briefly explain the roadmap for the first cycle approval. When an ANDA holder submits an application, the agency will send a receipt to the applicant. This receiving date is crucial for the whole process. The clock starts to click on that day. All critical dates are set up based on this date. For example, the GDUFA go date is 300 days after the receiving date. You will have 10 months to work with the agency to resolve all the issues before you getting the approval letter. The agency will make a filing decision within 60 days of ANDA submission. By 60 days, you will know whether the agency will accept or reject your application. If we accept your application, a team will be assigned to work on your application in the next 8 months. Before the approval, any DMF referenced by the application must be found adequate before the go date. There are two important internal due dates, quality due date 1 and quality due date 2. QDD 1 is 80 days after ANDA receiving date, and QDD 2 is 270 days after the receiving date. We will discuss these two important dates later. Here is the flowchart for Type 2 DMF review assignment within DLAPI. Once the application is submitted to the agency, the RBPM will check the referencing DMFs and send the review request to the DLAPI triage team. The triage team will make an assignment based on the DMF submission type. The review team completes the assignment by internal due date. The DLAPI will notify the RBPM the outcome. The review cycle is complete. If DMF is found adequate, the agency will issue the first adequate letter or no further comment letter, according to the division SOP. If DMF is found inadequate, the agency will issue CR or deficiency letter. When DMF holder submit a CR response, the triage team could be notified by the RBPM using the same pathway we just mentioned, or triage team receives the notification sent by the DMF holder. This is the starting point for the next review cycle. The review assignment will go back to the same review team who issued the CR letter. When DMF holder submits an unsolicited quality amendment, the review cycle will not be started until the same DMF is referenced by an active application. After we introduce the flowchart for Type 2 DMF assignment, you may ask why we need the internal due dates and how to calculate these internal due dates. Here is the algorithm of internal due dates for Type 2 DMF assessment. DLAPI developed two internal due dates, DMF target day 1 and DMF target day 2. These two internal due dates allows the drug products reviewer to update their assessment based on the outcome of the reviewed DMF. It also gave RBPM sufficient time to process the letters and prepare for the FDA actions. DTD1 is 20 days before the QDD1. DTD2 is 7 days before the QDD2. In the fiscal year 2019, DLAPI complete 2090 DMF assessment. Here is the DMF completion rate by the type of DMF submission and by internal due dates. First, we group the DMF assignment based on the DMF submission type. There are three types of DMF submissions: original, solicited, and unsolicited DMF submission. So what is the difference among these three types of submissions? All original DMF submissions have not been scientifically reviewed. The solicited DMF submissions are those submissions that have been scientifically reviewed but have not been found adequate to support the ANDA application. The unsolicited DMFs are those DMFs found adequate previously and have the pending quality amendments that have not been scientifically reviewed yet. The completion rate of each type of DMF submission is calculated based on the internal due dates. The implementation of internal due dates ensure that about 96% of DMF assessment are completed before the go date, regardless of the DMF submission type. Here is the adequacy rate for each type of DMF submission. In the fiscal year 2019, we completed 366 original DMF assessment, 1,007 solicited DMF assessment, and 1,416 unsolicited DMF assessment. As shown in the table, for unsolicited DMF submission, 86% were found adequate and 14% were found inadequate. For solicited DMF submissions, 55% were found adequate, 45% were found inadequate. Only 3% of original submissions were found adequate after the first cycle assessment. 97% of them were found inadequate. When a DMF holder submits a quality amendment to respond to the CR letter, the type of DMF submission is changed from the original submission to the solicited DMF submission. Based on the initial study, most of original DMF submission will be found inadequate in the first cycle review. At least 2 scientific assessments are required before the DMF can be found adequate. Is this true? We decided to perform a similar study on more original DMF submissions. We will focus on the outcome of first cycle review. We will also look at how long it will take the firm to submit the CR response. The CR response time is critical for the agency to complete the second cycle second cycle scientific review within the 8-month window. The new study include 1,462 original DMF assessments completed from the fiscal year 2013 to the fiscal year 2019. Among 1,462 original DMF first cycle assessment, only 14 were found adequate, which count about 1% of the total study. The rest of 1,448 original DMFs were found inadequate after the first cycle assessment. 1,332 DMF holders submit the corresponding CR response within 2.5 years. About 116 inadequate DMFs are still pending on the CR response. After the filing date, we have only 8 months to help the DMF holder resolve any open issues related to the referencing application. From outcome analysis, 86% of unsolicited DMF submission and 55% of solicited DMF submissions can be found adequate within one scientific assessment. 3% of original DMF submission can be found adequate within one scientific assessment. Based on this finding, we conclude at least 2 scientific assessments are required within 8 months. Here is the proposed strategy for the first cycle approval. We propose to complete 2 scientific assessments within 8 months. After the first cycle DMF review, we issue the CR letter before QDD1. The DMF holder has about 30 days to respond to the CR letter. This schedule will allow the LAPI to have 60 days to complete the second cycle assessment. We also have limited time to issue an IR before complete the second assessment if we need more information. The potential minor issues are likely to be resolved by the IR response. The adequacy rate will be around 75% based on our 2019 study. It's a good chance that the DMF will become adequate within a 10-month review window. If the DMF responds in 60 days or less, the LAPI has 30 days to complete the second cycle assessment. We don't have time to issue an IR during the second assessment. The adequacy rate will be likely around 50% due to the minor issues. After we discuss the strategy for the first cycle approval, here is the reality. We collect the CR letter completion date and the CR response date from the internal database. The duration is calculated from the CR response date minus CR letter completion date. The duration of all 1,332 original DMFs was calculated and plotted to show the distribution of the data as shown in the chart. No more than 10% of DMF holder responds to the CR letter within 30 days. About 25% of DMF holder responds to the CR letter within 90 days. More than 70% of DMF holders respond to the first CR letter after 90 days. It's impossible for the agency to perform a second cycle scientific review. Based on our finding, it's critical to submit the CR response in a timely manner. Unfortunately, the agency cannot give an exact expected CR response date on the CR letter. Here is the template of the CR letter. On the first page, you will find whether your submission is reviewed or deferred. You can also find the name of the applicants whose application is under reviewing. The agency will not tell DMF holder the outcome of their submissions. However, you can figure out based on the formula on the last page. If your submission is found inadequate manner, the expected CR response is 90 days before the earliest go date. If the outcome is inadequate measure, the expected CR response is 120 days before the earliest go date. Here is the decision tree for the late DMF submissions. First, the RBPM will find out if a CR letter will be issued. If the answer is yes, the assessment for the late submission will be deferred. If the answer is not sure, then the RBPM will reach the triage team to determine whether the late submission is a major or a minor quality submission. If it is a major amendment, the go date will be extended to 120 days after the receiving date. If it's a minor amendment, the go date will be extended to 90 days after the receiving dates. What is the impact of late DMF amendment submission on the drug product review? When the agency receives a late submission, the DMF amendment may be deferred based on the decision tree. The go date will remain the same. If the late submission will be reviewed in the current review window, the RBPM will work with triage team to decide the new go date based on the submission date. The LAPI will complete the assignment by the DTD2. Here is some takeaway. On the receipt of a complete response letter, DMF holder should follow the instructions in the letter and submit a CR response in a timely manner. For DMF holders, before submitting an unsolicited DMF amendment, consider disclosing the submission date to your customer. For ANDA holder, consider informing the corresponding DMF holder regarding your pending go date. Late submission may be cause an extension of the go date. In the fiscal year 2019 submission study, 3% of original DMF submission, 55% solicited DMF submissions, and 86% of unsolicited DMF submissions are found adequate. Over 96% DMF assessment met the GDUFA goal dates. In the last 6 years, the agency issued 1,462 CR letters for original DMF submissions. Less than 10% of DMF CR response was submitted within 30 days. The average first CR response time is dropped from 190 days to 114 days, decrease about 40%. The average CR response time is over 90 days, and CR response are identified as late submission. Late CR response or unsolicited amendment do not allow the second cycle DMF review, which decreases the first cycle approval rate. Submit CR response promptly and commute with applicants effectively will allow the second cycle DMF review and improve the DMF adequacy rate. This presentation, I'd like to thank two student interns, Oliver and Victor. They did a tremendous job for helping us prepare this presentation. Thank you for your time to attend this presentation. If you have any questions regarding this poster, please send us an email by clicking on the link for this presentation on the DMF workshop poster page. Questions received by February 15th will be answered in the Q&A session on March 3rd.